there you go. You hightailed it. Woody got slammed. The powder went in Brian's eyes. A melee, a mess, really. And where'd you get those shoelaces? That wasn't a legitimate front face lock. That was a...
Shut up, Webster. I live by the theory of the past does not exist. And I think the only thing to talk about now is the future. And that's your job, you idiot, so go ahead.
Well, you may have your day, speaking of the future, on the 17th. Hair versus hair, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy's got plenty of it. Could be all long gone.
I have nice hair. I have beautiful hair, actually. And I doubt very seriously that it's going to be cut at all.
Well, we shall see. We shall also see, ladies and gentlemen, a very exciting newcomer in the name of Dylan Cage. Came out of nowhere recently and defeated Luis Ortiz.
Well, I've learned a few things about Dylan Cage myself. He was trained by the legendary Wahoo McDaniel. He was in the same class as the Hardy Boys, and he's also the first cousin of Native American Tatanka. Now, I always thought this kid was Puerto Rican, but I guess he's an Indian.
Go figure, ladies and gentlemen. It's our resident walking encyclopedia, Knuckles Nelson. Also, Arch Kincaid, my broadcast buddy. He'll be along, the very verbal Arch Kincaid.
The very weird Arch Kincaid.
Yeah, he marches to the beat of a different drum for sure, but I hear a lot of the residents of Pelican Bay, Florida are that way.
Yeah, he's half a weirdo if you ask me, though.
El Mascarado will be in action as well.
El Mascarado, you know, some of these wrestlers that you're mentioning, Brian Day, Arch Kincaid, El Mascarado, all of these guys come out of the camp of Killer Kowalski, Latin Fury, Slick Wagner Brown, and I think that Mike Harlow and Killer Kowalski are doing a great job down there in Malden, and I think that they, you know, hopefully they'll continue to pump out these great wrestlers, because the best wrestlers in New England are coming out of there. Everybody knows that Triple H, Chyna, Perry Saturn, and Prince Albert were all trained also by Killer Kowalski, and not in character for Knuckles Nelson, but I think they're doing a great job down there, and I hope they keep up the good work.
Excellent. Yeah, you can guarantee a superstar coming out of that camp, definitely. That's the first time, and probably the only time I will agree with you.
And you know, the one other thing that all those guys have in common, with the exception of Walter Killer Kowalski himself, is they've all gotten a beating at the hands of Knuckles Nelson at one time or another in their short careers.
We're also looking forward to an appearance, ladies and gentlemen, assuming his no-tell motel destruction problems have been cleared up. Ron Zombie will be at the pavilion as well.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Webster.
All right, so that's coming up, and again, the next time you see this gentleman, could have a little bit of a short haircut. A little bit of a buzz cut, as they say.
Yeah, well, why don't we talk about something else for a minute? And how about that illegitimate Beal at the hands of BAD Brian Day last month, or whatever it was, last week at the Beach Club?
Illegitimate Beal? That was a clean scoop slam in the center of a 20-foot ring. That was not a Beal, you of the 10-year experience.
Well, it was clearly a Beal. Big Woody can't be slammed, and I am here on behalf of Commissioner Bonk to give... just shut up again for a minute. I got another thing I want to say. BAD Brian Day is banned from body slam attempts. How about that, Webster? If you're familiar with the rules of baseball, he's had 3 attempts at slamming Big Woody and 3 strikes, and you are out. And there is also a restraining order against BAD Brian Day. If he comes within 500 feet of Woody, they're going to put him where he belongs, in the state penitentiary.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and that
really
comes from Gil Bonk.
That's right. We have the paperwork to prove it. He's all done. He's not going to try to slam Woody anymore. Let's get on with the show. Continue with my show, This Week in Wrestling. Hurry, quicker.
Well, speaking of you and earlier...
He's banned from body slam attempts. Banned.
Banned?
Yes. He's had 3 attempts. How many chances are we going to give him? We have other great people that want to try and attempt to slam Woody, like Dylan Cage, like Latin Fury, like Slick Wagner Brown, like Astro Man. Well, day's done.
Well, you could certainly use $1,000. Why don't you try to slam Big Woody?
Hey, the guy's a personal friend of mine. I'm not interested in that contest. My accolades and my credentials speak for themselves. I don't need to go out and slam my good friend Woody.
My good friend Woody.
Yeah, the guy's a friend of mine.
Well, you know what they say, with friends like that. You know, earlier you touched upon being an international superstar.
Well documented.
Very soon you are going to have the chance to prove that once again. You've been to Japan many times, and the Yamaguchi family is bringing you back to Japan. And I do have to say that all of us here at Wrestling Star Wars and This Week in Wrestling are very proud of the fact that many, many stars from our organization are soon heading to Japan.
Well, I'm so touched you feel that way, I could just puke. Who are some of the other wrestlers going on this tour? All I know is myself, because all I care about is myself, and all I get booked is myself.
Well, you'll be happy to know that one New England heavyweight champion, Brian Day, will be on that Japanese tour.
Brian Day?
Perhaps the Yamaguchis will book a match between you and BAD. So how do you like that?
Well, I heard Brian Day was talking to the Yamaguchis, but I didn't know anything was actually definite.
Dylan Cage, Slick Wagner Brown, they'll be there.
I'd like to see more guys in that weight class going than Bald and Dumb. Are you behind this?
I'm not behind anything, but...
Yeah, but we all know that you want to get down on your knees for Brian Day anyway. You seem to love the guy so much.
He happens to be a friend of mine.
Gee, we all have our friends in the world, don't we?
I want to touch upon this. Speaking of your Japanese tour, this is a program from a recent Japanese card. And here you are, Knuckles Nelson, looking as bad as ever in those $2 sunglasses and that $4 Steve Austin knockoff vest. Like that a lot. Burning Puncher? What is that supposed to be?
I don't know. It's something the Japs call me. I have no idea what it means, all right?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Well, it should be interesting. And hopefully we will be able to bring you some footage of that particular tour coming up towards the end of summer.
Oh, I can guarantee that because the television exposure in Japan is very great, and there's nothing I like better than seeing myself on TV anyway.
Let's touch upon for a minute, if we can. Let's go back to that match. You know, I hate to keep going back to that match because it portrays this organization in a very bad light as far as I'm concerned. What was the purpose of throwing that weightlifting powder in the eyes of Brian Day? I mean, you guys, you come on here and you're so brave and you're so tough. You know, no one else is around. You guys are the greatest. You guys are so mean and so bad and so tough. You know, why do you have to resort to things like that? I think that's what everybody wants to know.
Well, I would like to take an opportunity to answer that right now myself.
Well, please do.
There was a time when I actually used to associate with Brian Day. Brian Day, I took him to the gym. I taught him everything he knows about lifting weights. I got him a physique like he has right now. I even sat at his bar at Le Bec Rouge in Hampton Beach and watched him do his thing down there too. So I know this guy. I've been around him before. You know what I mean? And we know he's an avid weightlifter. He was obviously having some problems in the match, so we gave him some weightlifting chalk. I mean, are you blind as well as dumb? Don't you see what I was doing? I did the guy a favor.
So you were trying to help a friend.
I'm a very helping, caring person. I was trying
Why'd
to
you
help
attack him
out.
from behind?
I don't recall ever attacking him from behind, and I have instituted this new move in my arsenal called the front face lock, also known as the front chancery in some circles. And I use that move to its fullest, and you can take a man like Tony Atlas, a man like Brian Day, a man like Lex Luger, and bring them down to their knees and get them into submission. That's all that was.
With the help of a shoelace.
Webster, are you on some sort of medication that we should know about? I don't know anything about any shoelace.
Well, perhaps you will be the one on medication as soon as your match is over with Brian Day. And you know, that feud may go on for a very, very long time because, after all, both of you will be in Japan at the